Hello, I am Catfish, and in today's video I am editing and terraforming the Nether, so it is something I can work with in a future project I'm planning. On the floor I've already done a tiny bit of progress where I have marked out where I want to clear, and so this world's a weird world because I have a mixture of the old super flat style, and then when I transferred across to this version of Minecraft it updated the Nether as well. And so it's really cool because I get things like the basalt and all the other new ores, and I also get the new areas like this more ashy area. So that's really cool, but it means I've got to clear areas out to be able to build in the Nether, which is not as cool. As you can see, the area on the map is lime green concrete, and the reason for this is just to remind myself where I want to build. And I've also done the same with the roof. Now, the reason I want to actually build within the Nether isn't because I love or hate the Nether, it's purely because I use the Nether as my transport area. And so what I'd like for anyone trying to go through the Nether to see the rest of the map to have a nice view as they walk through the Nether. So this will be one of my next big projects as I'm building away on the world. So I'll have my desert area that has places like the Mount Olympus, or my previous video, the Pyramid of Marine, the Great Pyramid of Marine. And then I'll have my city area, and then I'll have my spawn, which obviously everything comes through. As time goes on, I suspect I will add more areas to this. However, for the minute, what I'll have is it will just be a simple, fairly simple build. I like the idea of having this as some kind of, obviously it's going to be something bad. It's got lava, it's got the nether rock, and also you can't see that far. I like the render distance. And I like that certain areas have that more ashy feel, so I'm going to see what I can do with this. But I had some inspiration from someone on Instagram called Tridar6, I believe, and he built this Egyptian style thing in the Nether. And so instead of using water, for example, he used lava, and instead of using a tree, for example, he would use some kind of Nether based tree, and it was really cool ideas, and I like the idea of it. And I've taken inspiration from that, and that's why I've decided to update my Nether so it's a bit nicer for me to actually go through. A big thing I plan hopefully to do is work through the map and, you know, get a nice theme going on, because if I can get at least the Nether part finished completely, then that would be really cool. So then, as you can see within the video, I'm getting rid of all the lava flow that comes down from the roof. Now, what's going to happen is in a minute, I'm going to turn around and actually think, okay, let's just delete all from the roof anyway. As you can see, I've got that lime roof on the top. I then go through and I carry on cleaning up areas. Cleaning up the lava, because the lava was a bit of a pain to deal with, and I didn't want to have to deal with it whilst I was trying to work out what to do with the concrete. And then quickly, just so I reminded people that were joining the new old brand new, I gave them a path that they could follow to get from one nether portal to the next. However, later in the video you'll see that this is not completely what happened as a continuous thing. So around the edges, as you can see, I have lava, and so basically with this part of the map, on 3 of the 4 walls there are these walls that have the lava available. And so what the plan is to have it so that there are walls on 3 sides of this compound type build. And these walls will obviously be stopping lava, and the idea will be that basically this lava is meant to be kind of flowing inwards and trying to get into these walls. And then throughout the map there'll be certain areas where the lava is being used or is like a water feature, like I just said a minute ago. And so in theory this should be really cool. And I don't know, I'm feeling like doing stuff like a big giant black and gold pyramid or something like that. Let me know what you guys are thinking, but I'm trying to just think about different ways to make it both look really cool, really kind of spooky as well. I want it to be like something you could look at and enjoy, but also something that like you can kind of respect and go, oh wow, that is a really cool build. Any suggestions for what I could build in this dark, hellish landscape would be really cool. I would like to try and keep a certain theme. So if you've got like this kind of stylistic, hellish, anything kind of dark and evil looking, then please tell me, because I'd really love to have some inspiration, because any inspiration for this kind of a build is always great to have. As I say, the big centerpiece could be the giant pyramid idea that I've just said, and then that could be a crossroads where it says, oh yeah, go this way for this, go that way for that. I could have giant statues. I could have, if I'm going to stick with the Egyptian theme, sphinxes and stuff like that, where it just looks a bit evil and just a bit scary looking for people. And stuff like this, you know. It's just, I like spooky things. I love Halloween. Halloween's a fantastic time of year. It's nowhere near Halloween right now, but Halloween is one of those times of year that I just fall in love with every time. You know, as a kid, Halloween was always a time that I always had loads of fun, and you know, it was always one of those times when, yeah, it was a bit spooky, but that was part of the fun. It was like pretend spooky. It wasn't kind of actual scary that was like, oh god, I'm scared to go outside. It was the kind of spooky that was fun for everyone to play with, and I'd like that kind of a feel, you know. It's just, I'm happy with a bit of like proper scary spooky kind of thing. I've got no issues with that, but any build ideas at all whatsoever, I would appreciate them massively. I know that all of my nether portals in this area are going to be big and different, and they're going to be, each one's going to be unique. So I'm going to have, I could have one that looks like a sword, or I could have one that looks like a kind of skyscraper or something. So for example, with the spawn, I could make that a giant nether portal sword, and then with the city, I could make that a giant skyscraper type thing, although once again it would have to be stylized kind of thing, you know what I mean. But you get the idea of what I'm trying to put forward is stylized ideas for each area, so that each area feels unique. You know, when you go into a nether portal, you know, oh yeah, this gigantic nether portal here takes me to the city, or this one here takes me back to spawn, or this one here takes me to say for instance this one here takes me to the desert. So I'm going to try and work these out as well, make sure that all works. This video I haven't recorded in third person, just purely because the scale of where I was building was a bit too large. With the last video it worked with the pyramid because it felt like I was actually properly there doing it kind of thing. But with this one it's a bit more of an intimate experience. You know, this is, obviously don't get me wrong, I am filling in areas of netherrack, or like doing it quickly as well, but it's done in such a way that it needs to be done this way, because otherwise I would spend too much time trying to move the camera about, trying to get the right angle, and that wouldn't have been fun for me, and it wouldn't have been fun, I think, as an viewing experience either. So as you can see, I accidentally overfilled the area of netherrack there, and so what I did was I went back through and just covered it with a bit more lava, just so it was a bit more covered. I'll be probably working through more of these areas that I made mistakes with, and just double checking and just making sure that everywhere fits nicely and everything clicks really nicely. As I say, when it comes to it, the roof will not be lime green and neither will the floor, but as I say, it's just nice to have a reminder as to where the different areas of the map are. So I think what I'll do after this video is finished is actually put down markers to the edges of the map, just so I know where certain things are. However, as I say, now that the nether portals are on the floor, it's a bit of a different story. It's a bit more easy to do. But I'll just make sure, as you can see, I'm going about making sure there's no floating land. Dealing with the lava was really difficult because the lava kept just coming back in and flowing. If you didn't clear out an entire pool, all of a sudden you'd be there with an entire bunch of lava in the middle of nowhere, like, oh no. A big thing you can see I'm doing right now is just going through and just cleaning up a lot of the space, making sure everything is usable, that everything can be, you know, everything can be accessed, and that's a really important thing, is if you're going to build in the nether, make sure you've built enough area so you can actually build. I find, because originally I was thinking of leaving some of the roof, but then I realised that if I'm going to build something like a gigantic pyramid or something like that, like an inverse version of what's in the main map anyway, I realised that if I was going to do that, I'd need the space, and if I don't have all this space free, I might end up being really stuck with what I've got, and so I've decided to go through, cut it all down, and just work with the area and just see how it can come together kind of thing. Big thing I need to sort out, because when I first came into the nether I basically cleared a whole bunch of space, and so the reason the nether portals are all up so high is because of the need to clean out the area above. Once again, I cleared out a bit too much nether, but that didn't turn out too badly because it just worked with the lava, so once again I just had another open cave area. But yeah, so back with the nether. I put a whole bunch of red sandstone down just to kind of give it a feeling that it was, you know, it had something there of value to have. And that was both a positive and a negative. A positive because it meant that I had the space, but then I realised that actually the way I originally did it was I just used corridors. But as I say, I've been a bit more inspired, and because I know I'm only working with 3 different areas at the minute, I've decided to change it up a bit. I will move all the other nether portals down, just so I remember they're there. However, or perhaps I'll leave just an area just so I know for my own future reference that, oh, by the way, this is where they are, you know? Just in case I do decide to expand out or build something into a wall somewhere. As you can see, I'm on these final tickly bits where there's a tiny bit of editing. But overall, I double check everything and I get rid of a tiny bit of floating land just to make sure. And there's a few tiny bits and bobs, but as a majority, it's finished. So after I've completed the land, I then go about and I quickly head up to the area where the nether portals are. So that one there is, as you can see, I've made it bigger just to make it easier. But this is the palace, so that was the one where the spawn is, and then I just double checked to make sure it actually was linked, because there's one portal that I always have issues with, which is my portal which is connected to the palace, which is the desert portal. As you can see, it first of all spawns me there, which I absolutely despise. And then another problem that happened was where the lava was coming down and where I'd built, what happened was the nether portal couldn't fit, and so I brought it in a bit because, as I say, I want to have that wall, I want to have the whole idea. And originally I wasn't too sure about having the nether portal in that area there where it spawned, but then I've gone back in a few times and I double thought, and I thought to myself, let's have it so that actually in this part of the world it's a big feature. And just a second ago that was a couple of times when nether portals are spawning. One big thing I find quite a lot, which is quite weird, is I keep spawning and flying through blocks, which is a bit concerning, but that's fine, it's nothing to worry about. Then this is my city build, and as I say, you know, it's the first time in the video you see them all connected. It might be the last time, it might not be, who knows. If I carry on doing videos on this area, then it might be, you know, a bit more kept up. As you can see, I delete all those portals just to remember I've done it. But as a general rule of thumb, there's my 3 big portals, so here's all the land I have to work with. Thank you for watching the video, have a fantastic day, and I hope you like and subscribe.